Recording is
Hi,
active.
Andy. Hi,
Hi,
everyone.
Rishi. Hi, Rishi. Hi, everybody. All right, everybody. Hello and welcome to the February 19th, 2026 edition of the KubeStellar Community Meeting. Hope everybody's having a great day. I'm going to just go through some of the logistics here. We are at KubeStellar.io, as you all know, and if you go to KubeStellar.io/join_us, you will get a Google group, and if you join that Google group, you'll get regular invites to our meetings. You can go to KubeStellar.io/TV to see. This is our Yahoo channel. I'm sorry, Yahoo YouTube channel where you can find all the latest and greatest on our project. Our biweekly meetings are included there too. This particular document is at KubeStellar.io/agenda. If you want access to that to be able to edit this document, you must go to KubeStellar.io/join us and join that group. Okay, so if you have any meeting agenda topics, please opine them below. And we go by a contributor code of conduct. We are proud members of the CNCF Sandbox project. And so as contributors and maintainers in the CNCF community and in the interest of fostering an open and welcoming community, we pledge to respect all people who contribute to reporting issues, posting feature requests, updating documentation, submitting pull requests or patches, and other activities. We are committed to making participation in the CNCF community a harassment-free experience for everyone, regardless of level of experience, gender identity and expression, sexual orientation, disability, personal appearance, body size, ethnicity, race, age, religion, or nationality. And what that means to me is just be nice to everybody. It's a great thing to do in today's day and age. All right, so let's get started. Again, as I said, please go ahead and put your info on here if you wouldn't mind, so we know who has attended. All right. So, as I state at all meetings, join the KubeStellar Dev Slack org. You get more information from us. You have to get an invitation to the Cloud Native CNCF organization first in Slack, and then that's our channel right here. Okay. We're excited to be at KubeCon EU in Amsterdam, March 23rd to 26th. CFP is closed, of course. There was one accepted talk from Paolo and Braulio, and I will be at the Partner Pavilion on Wednesday from 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock p.m. And there's a lightning talk. I think I have the schedule for this now. It's usually around 11 a.m. or noon. That's when they usually slot us. And so I'm excited. I'll be unveiling or announcing the availability of the KubeStellar console. If there's time permitting in this talk, I'll give a little in this meeting today. I'll give a little bit of a preview of what it looks like. The IFOS update. Term 1 starts in March. It's only a couple weeks away. We have made selections. Those selections are going out. And the selections, the folks that will be joining us, will be working on 2 different programs. In the past, we used to have 5 or 6 programs going simultaneously. Well, with the advent of AI, I don't believe that there's a need to have so many right now. But over time, there may be a need for it. We're having to just get our legs under us, so to speak, as to how to work in this new AI world. The folks there will be primarily working on KubeStellar console as it relates to documentation and self-service enablement and integration and ecosystem development specialist. And so this is essentially marketplace for the KubeStellar console, and I'll show you what that looks like in just a few minutes. And this is more or less, documenting and showing how to get people started. Things like the quick start, the tour that's in the KubeStellar console, how to get in front of more people, get more users of the KubeStellar console, et cetera, et cetera. We also have a Cornell's software-defined farm program. We're working on enclave and confidential computing. It still remains the focus, and hopefully we'll have some folks from Georgia Tech join us in the summer. For KubeStellar, there's a few updates. I think there's still an ongoing campaign to up from 1.3.1 to 1.3.2. Mike, do you want to give us any updates or statuses on this?
Sure. Yes, I think the main thing that needs to be accomplished next is the upgrade
to Kubernetes 1.32. We do have one contributor working on that. I hope we can get it landed soon. It's because the other thing we really want to do, we do want to not fall behind. Kubernetes is making progress. Dependencies are tied to Kubernetes. Vulnerabilities are tied to dependencies, are tied to Kubernetes. So for all sorts of good reasons, we need to be keeping up with Kubernetes. And then we do have other issues to attend to too. I myself am having a bad week. I've been sick all week. I don't know when I will be well. So I am operating at reduced capacity, and I'm reviewing as I am able to.
All right, thanks, Mike, for the update. Mike, do we want to leave the summarization bit in here, or do we want to? This has been lingering on this agenda for a very long time.
Yeah, it's I think it's okay to remove it. I mean, there are many things to work on. That's just one of them.
Yeah.
I think having it there gives as a bad representation of the roadmap.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, thank you, Mike. Hope you feel better. All right. Kevin, you want to go next? Give us an update on docs.
Sure. There is a bucket of stuff going on to align the file structure where the content of our website is held closer to the navigation. And I had a large PR which sat for a while that was going to do this and fix some other things along the way. It was too big and it went stale. So I have started over. We have done the first step. There was a folder called Direct in our repository, which actually referred specifically to KubeStellar rather than other components. That name was an artifact of our old website. And so I've pushed through that change, but it means there are still some more updates and fixes that have to be done after that realignment. I have the list. I'm working my way through it. Hopefully I will get some help from Claude soon. I'm waiting for my Claude account. But because of this, I'm asking people to hold off on doing additional PR. I'm not going to approve other PRs until we get this fix done, because that's what broke the big PR, was that there were too many small ones done in between, and I could not get things rebased properly. So still going to need lots of help cleaning it up. That is actually in the agenda, but I'm working my way through this fundamental fix to how the files are organized. This will also include updating how to make changes. Right now, if you want to make a minor change to fix an error, there is a built-in tool in the website. There is in the upper right, if you hover, you'll see there's an edit button. And that will take you to the markdown file for that particular page inside GitHub's built-in web editor, and then it will help you create a PR. If you just need to change errors in one page, this is the best way to do it. You don't need to download anything, you don't need to install Node.js. You can just do it in the source code for the content, and you're not messing with the structure at all. So if you spot a factual error, this is the best way to create a PR in a single page. If you want to understand the file structure as it's reorganized, that is pending right now in PR 1171. There is a preview for it in the contributing.md file in the root. So that's the one. Because we are no longer pulling files from the other repositories, and the old contribution map said that we were. Yes, all that lovely ASCII art has been updated to match the reality. It also adds that quick edit information and has a whole bunch of tools on how to work with the Nextra framework. And then getting this information now further into the website, once this file is updated, that is the next step. I have all these mods ready to go. Some of them I'm going to redo with the help of Claude. Others, because they are simple changes, I already have the files I will be pushing through. once we get this done, then we can go ahead and work on some of the other things we know have to be done. There is some structural work that has to be done. There's still some old information, but a lot of this work was done in the previous PR. And so I don't want to waste that work so if you have a documentation PR and I haven't approved it, this is why I'm trying to get things caught up. Small changes should not break when once this is all done. And if it's a question of the new directory, I will add a comment and then tell you how to fix it. So thank you for your patience, and we'll keep plugging and we'll get this going. I now understand actually how this works and how our versioning works, and that is explained, but the file is kind of hard to find. So I will make that more apparent to the rest of you as well. Now that I understand how the magic works underneath the Nextra engine, I am much more able to manage and keep an eye on what's going on. And thank you for all of your contributions to docs. Remember, all docs are now in the docs repository, not in the individual code repository.
Okay. Thank you, Kevin. All right. So just know that any PRs that modify any of the docs, they automatically generate a Netlify preview. And so that's what we're using. There's no more manual preview generation necessary. This works really well. So thank you.
I have one question for you, Andy. I note that when I look at issues on the docs, there's a whole pile that have been automatically generated. It appears most of them from your work on the console section. So how do you want to deal with those? Because it is a lot.
Yeah, I got to go through them. Okay. I got to go through them. There's a bunch of stuff. I have a routine that I give to Claude every night called Good Night. And what it does, it goes through and looks at all the PRs that have been done for the course of the past 24 hours or well, not 24 hours. The last time I ran the Good Night command is when it goes back to. So that could be 24 hours, 48 hours, 72, whatever. And then it says, okay, let me read those PRs, summarize what they were doing, and then determine which areas of the project I should take screenshots of or write up. And then it does that and summarily puts in a PR, etc. So I think that what you're seeing, some of those things, those maybe not, they're issues, right? Not PRs.
Yeah,
that you're saying?
They're issues. Yeah.
Yeah. So the issues are what it's going through and saying, well, somebody just merged a PR in X or Y.
Yeah.
And so I think they're supposed to be assigned back to the author of the original PR, but I don't know if if that's happening or not. And if that's not happening, then it should be. So we'll have to look through.
I will add that the Copilot suggestions for improving a PR are pretty smart, except when it comes to understanding ASCII art.
Yeah. Claude's a little better with that than Copilot. Copilot depends on which agent you get. It gets slotted to, right? Because we allow in KubeStellar we allow Codex. In we allow Gemini, and we allow Opus. So, and I think Sonnet's in there too. So I think we have like 5 different coding agents to pick from. We can select a whole host more, but I don't trust the output of most of those other ones just yet.
Yeah, but I can say that when I did a couple of these changes, the Copilot review found things I'd missed, but it also in some places just gets confused because ASCII art is weird. So but all of the other suggestions it made were things I could track down and actually fix, and that dramatically reduces the cycle because I don't have to wait for people to notice that I made those mistakes. So
you got it.
If you do a PR and Copilot makes suggestions, take a look, and if they're if they're real,
would you look up a couple of the issues that it's being auto generated and see if they're being assigned to the people who are the original authors? You don't have to go through and say, was this person the original author, but if you just see an assignee on the issue.
Yeah, I just looked at one, for example. I just picked one, 1150. It's not assigned to anybody.
Okay, so then I got to
Yeah.
update the agent to assign it to the original author. Thank you. Okay, I'll
Um,
take care of that.
I have a question on something you were just mentioning. Copilot is really just it's an agent, not a model, right? And there's some choices being made. Some are made in configuration in the KubeStellar organization. Allegedly, someone asking Copilot to do something can tell it what model to use. I have almost never experienced the opportunity to tell it which model to use.
I don't know how to do that either. I don't. Matter of fact, I've been speaking to the folks at GitHub Agentic Workflows, and I did ask them that a few weeks ago, and they said there was no way to do that.
Well, that's interesting because if I look at the documentation for GitHub, it does seem to think that there's a way to do it, but I've never actually
Oh,
had that experience.
well, give it a try again. See. Well, I mean, it's worth trying. Can't really mess anything up. It's just open up fake PR and test it out.
Yeah, I won't rabbit hole on that in here now.
Okay. All right. Any other comments or questions from anybody about things about docs or anything about KSKS? Okay. So I guess what I'd like to do now is is talk a little bit about console and field questions on it and give people an update as to where it is and what it's doing. So we've got a couple of opportunities coming up to talk about console. I'm still waiting to see if I'll be at the Linux Foundation Summit next week in Napa Valley, California, co-presenting with GitHub, Microsoft, and the CNCF. We were invited to talk, but we didn't get a favorable time slot, so we're trying to adjust that now and see if it'll work. We'll also be announcing it at the Lightning Talk and in the pavilion at KubeCon EU, which will be happening towards the end of March. So, but for now, I'd like to give you all a little bit of a taste of what it is that console can do. I'm sharing my screen, and Kevin, can you keep me honest? Am I at the login screen?
It looks like it.
Okay. So you're familiar with this login screen from the user interface. A couple of little things that are of note here. First off, this uses a GitHub OAuth app and to do its bidding. So if you were to install this in your enterprise, you would have a GitHub OAuth app that you would need to install. There's information at the bottom that's helpful that lets you know exactly what version of the console you're running and what commit level, what SHA. And then from time to time, your token will expire and you may be rerouted back to this login page with a nice little helpful reminder to say that your token has expired. You should relog in. So I'm just going to go ahead and log in. This is this is what you'll be presented with if you're running this on a local host or if you're running this in a cluster. Okay, and so this is what you'll be presented with if you're running it in our Netlify. This is what you would see at console.kubestellar.io. So if I go to console.kubestellar.io, this is our preview for this is our preview site that gets built with every change and update that happens, and you can't switch it out of demo mode. If you switch it out of demo mode, you'll be prompted with helpful instructions on how to get started and installing it yourself. But it's a good way to get familiar with the console itself with nice demo data. When it's running live locally, which I'm doing again here, you can switch between local and demo mode. Okay. Now, when I'm in local mode here, I'm running it against what it says AI. Okay. And so the local agent is connected. So the components of the console are the following. We have a front end and a back end, which is Node and JavaScript. And we have an agent, which is called the KubeStellar console agent, or the KC agent. KC agent is a brew package, and it gets installed automatically using the startup information that you get here. So when you switch this off and you see this little startup script, this does quite a few things, but it includes up to and including installing and compiling the front end and back end, and it also downloads and installs the latest agent. If your agent gets out of date, agents are recompiled every time the agent is on a nightly basis, on a weekly basis, based on if there's changes to the agent. If there's changes to the agent, you'll get notified here that there's an update for the agent and you should go ahead and install it. Um, so Across the top, you get the top nav bar. In the nav bar, you get a search area, so you can say, I want to look up node health, or I want to look up something to do with nodes. So this will give you instantly, it'll give you all the cards that you have, or the dashboards that you have that are, um, or the information for specific nodes that you have. So lots of information in here. Okay. And if you need to, you can actually launch what's called an AI mission directly from here. So let's say you had what's wrong with my node? You could say, what's wrong with my node on cluster A? And you can run a mission. I'll show you what a mission is in just a little bit. So that's how you search. When you search for a specific thing, it'll come up in context in the dashboard that it's running in, and it'll also automatically change the scrolling on the screen such that you get focus on the item that you were looking for. Next to that, there's a a global filter. This you can filter out clusters so that you only see information about certain clusters that you care about. And you can filter out by severity and status of objects that are within it. You can also enter in your own custom filter here, and that will filter the entire dashboard for the things that you're interested in. Underneath the agent, you have the ability to switch back and forth. It'll give you information to demo mode. You get information about your local agent, and notifies you that it's connected to the backend, some connection log information, and then information about how to install the agent locally. Once you've installed the agent, you have a list of items that you can pick from. You can put in API keys for specific APIs that you want to use for remote access, but those aren't CLI based, and they won't help you do things like repairing cluster issues. And then if you have any CLIs that are installed, it'll find and propagate those here or populate those here. In this case, I'm using my Claude CLI as the backend for any actions that I take that are AR related. There's a token counter next to that that'll tell you as you do certain things within the console, your token accumulation. You can give it a budget as to how many tokens you want to spend before being alerted, and this will update automatically, and you see the nice little change jump up and down when it does. Next to that is the tour. You can take a tour, a real quick tour about where'd it go? Did that just kill the damn browser? My God, that's pretty bad. It's the demo gods. Oops, where did it go? Oh wow, it just disappeared. Okay. Localhost. Oh, note to self, got to figure out what that was. Okay. Right. So there's that session expired. I'm going to try that one more time. Right. So this will give you a quick tour of what the console is. You click the right mouse button, the right arrow button on your keyboard, or you can just navigate with your keyboard. Shows you the navigation sidebar. This is where all your dashboards are located. This is what a card looks like. This is what you can do chatting with a card. This feature is not yet implemented. You can configure this with AI, so there's configuration for each one of the cards, and you have recommendations that will show up on the screen, and you can snooze those suggestions. Oh, it's supposed to be running on the main dashboard, and you can do drill downs within the cards, and of course search, open up AI missions, add new cards, add new dashboards, create bugs, and get alerts. And so let's continue across the nav bar. In the nav bar, we have a bug bounty feature. So you can add a bug report, and I'll show you what that looks like in demo mode so you can see actually what this looks like. And you get rewarded coins, KubeStellar coins, as you, it's not showing here. You get rewarded coins and you will build them in your bank, and this is your bank. So right now I have 0 coins. So each time you open up a bug, this automatically gets routed to Copilot, and then Copilot will update you with information about the bug and its progress, and eventually it will be merged and you'll get an update. And then it'll be your feature or your bug request will be featured in the next nightly build. You can change, of course, day night settings, alerts that you have for specific clusters or things that you've set up to send alerts will be housed here. You also get Mac OS notifications. Your profile is located across the top, and you have many settings to pick from. You can pick how aggressive you would like AI usage to be. We have things for predictive failure of nodes. You can check that for heuristic use and AI use. This is information about your local agent, and if there's new updates available to it. You can add AI keys for your favorite AI provider. You can set your token usage threshold. You can add GitHub integration. This is how you get information for things that are in certain cards that have to do with interactions with GitHub. Here's how to pull down a desktop widget. Desktop widgets are cool. I can show you what one looks like in just a little while. And you have the ability to enable persistence. And this is pretty cool. This is for the KubeStellar deploy function. And I may not get to that today, but suffice to say, everything you could do with the traditional KubeStellar is available for you here and we provide persistence for that if you would prefer it. You can give Slack ID information, Slack integration, web and email integration. You can change the views with different themes. You have options for reducing motion, colorblind mode, high contrast, for people that have issues with seeing differences in contrast. This will back up and synchronize your information in your settings. And this is done through the agent, so this way you don't lose it on refreshes of the browser. You can deploy local clusters, so you can do this right from here. You can deploy a kind cluster on your local system, give it a name, create, and you can check permissions for your cluster. Of course, you have the ability to subscribe to a channel, so you can be on a stable weekly release or an unstable nightly release, and then it will check and see if there's something new or running and you are up to date. Franco, I saw a question from you. You have a question?
Yeah, you went through this page where you provide a lot of information, GitHub accounts and stuff like that, right? How do you store all the secrets, passwords, account informations?
Yeah, so those will go to your local storage, and then they will, if you have an agent set up, which I do, it'll be stored on your local agent and encrypted.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay. There's a JSON file associated with that. Okay. So here's the main dashboard. So dashboards in general, they all kind of they behave similar to each other at all, mostly. So you have a refresh for the whole dashboard in the top right. You have the ability to auto refresh that every 30 seconds. You can also pin. This remembers the scrolling position on your page. So if you navigate away, refresh your browser and come back, you don't have or go to a different dashboard and come back. This will pin the location of your view so that you don't have to scroll down every time. Across the top, you have stat blocks. And these are interchangeable. You can add or remove stat blocks as you wish. Add stats from other dashboards. So here's like if, for instance, I wanted to put in security posture score here, I could do that. I save it away, and then here's the security posture score just showed up. So these stat blocks are interchangeable. You can take them on, peel them off. And right below this on the main dashboard, this is a special feature for the main dashboard. You have AI giving you recommendations for adding cards. So for the opacity sucks on this. I'll fix that. So I can add a new card and there it is instantly. So AI suggested that, look, you got a lot of deployment issues. You better get this card up in front of you and take action. Also has the ability for you to take action on specific items. So these are AI mission suggestions. So this is telling me my cluster is unhealthy, and I know that because it's offline. I've shut it off, and they're here. 9 pods have restarted 5 times. So everybody's chomping at the bit. Let's take a look at what this says. Hopefully this works. So what this has done is it's gone out and created what's called an AI mission. AI mission, you can make it full screen and watch it. It's a chat that gets initiated with an initial prompt that starts with information about what was recommended that be take a look at. The Claude CLI, which is running on my local laptop, it's being connected to through a WebSocket. So if this runs in a cluster, it connects to my agent via WebSocket and uses MCP tools from KubeStellar. We have 2 MCP agents, KubeStellar Ops and KubeStellar Deploy. This one's using the Ops MCP agent. You see information on the right about the original request, the summary of what's taking place in the chat, and the details of which. If this agent comes back with something helpful, you can also save the resolution so that you save yourself tokens and time later. So it's doing multiple turns to figure out why these specific pods are having trouble. And then I don't have to sit here and wait for this. I can come back to it later. I can change the text sizing. I can change which agent works on this. I don't even know what this is. What is this? Oh, start a new mission. Okay. So I'll minimize this. I'll put this in the corner, let it do its thing. At some point when the agent responds, I'll get something that says down here, a mission needs attention. So let that work and do its thing. Then I can go through the dashboard. Like I said, you have stat blocks across the top, but you can also add new blocks across add new cards in here. So these are all cards that are along the bottom. We have over 160 cards at this point in time. So I can add any one of these to any given dashboard and I can have it put up in front of me. Here's some information about DNS health. And you know what? I can't see that. So why don't I enlarge it a little bit? So I can make this wider, take a look. This is telling me that all the DNS entries that are for the different clusters are up and healthy and responding well. So you know what? I don't care to see that anymore. So I'm just going to remove that card. So this is the main dashboard. The main dashboard, like I said, the behavior is the same across all dashboards with the exception of these two AI cards and AI actions suggestions. Okay. GPU reservations. So many times people want to use this to reserve GPUs on a specific system for the specific need. You can do that and add a new GPU reservation. You can create a namespace here if you need to, or use an existing namespace. Your choice. There's some, this is for LMD. LMD has benchmarking information. They also have nightly statuses of the different things that are going on, how their nightly test cases are working out. You can examine those, view the logs of those, etc. You can get information about the benchmarking information that they store, even graphs that are useful for some people for performance of different models on different GPU types. A leaderboard, latency breakdown, throughput comparisons, performance timelines, and resource utilization. All right, so if you have LLMD stacks running inside of your cluster, you can it'll discover those, and then you can have a closer look at what exactly are those stacks doing. This is a real-time graph that's the information's being taken directly from Prometheus, being scraped on a regular basis. It shows you on the left a person trying to hit, let's say, a chat, going through a gateway, let's say like Istio, and then to a placement algorithm, and then off to a decode pod. This one has only decode; it doesn't have prefill. This one has prefill and decode, so the graph gets a little more interesting. You have the ability to use tables per pod for aggregation of KV cache. Can even do. I also created a nice little cool little. I like these horseshoe graphs; they're pretty cool. You can look at the EPP routing specifically, the PD disaggregation, balance and mix, insights about your LLMD stack, your GPU overview, hardware health. This is pretty cool. This is actually integrated with macOS notifications. This will give you information about each one of the hardware devices that are on your individual nodes and if they're in good status or not. And of course, I won't go through all these dashboards, but I have included something called the arcade. There are, I think, about 22 cards here. Each one of them has a different theme. They're all classic games like Sudoku, Space Invaders, Pac-Man, that crosser game, Kube Kong, Pitfall, Pod Brothers, if they're Mario Brothers, Kube Pong, like Mario Kart, Snake, all of this stuff. So if you ever, and the favorite one that and this is the reason why it's in the top left, is I gave this one a pirate personality. AI responds with pirate taunts. Take your time, landlubber. Me ship ain't going nowhere. So this is actually going out to the AI agent and pulling back cool little pirate taunts and sending them back to you. Okay, so I'm going to stop there. I'm way over time for this meeting, but I wanted to show you all a little bit about how this works and why I think it's important to KubeStellar. So here's the AI mission. It's come back with some information and some answers about what could be happening and gives you some ideas about how it might remediate it. And then you can say, go ahead, take action. Okay, so that concludes my introduction to the KubeStellar console. Does anybody have any questions? No questions? All right. Good enough for me. All right. So if you want to get involved, please go to KubeStellar/console in the KubeStellar organization. You'll note there are a few issues that are up there. There's also the console marketplace. Oh yeah, let me share that one more thing. One more thing with you here at the end here. The marketplace. Forgot about the marketplace. Here's the marketplace. So the marketplace has a whole ton of things that you can use, everything from themes, dashboards, cards, and anything that we want help wanted for. I've included items for all the graduated and incubating CNCF projects to have those worked on. We've had a couple people already donate some cards to this effort, and so this is great that people are opening things and doing things. We've already got some people that are interested in working on it. You have different levels of cards or dashboards or themes that you can work on. Difficulties are noted on each one of the issues. If you want to get involved, just simply open one of these and assign it to yourself and use your favorite coding agent to have a look and figure out. We've had a couple people already put in some new cards, and so I'm thankful for that. Thank you to the community. All right, now I'm done. Any questions? Rishi Jat, anything you want to add?
No, I'm also exploring the console, playing with all the things.
Great. And thank you for your help with it.
Yeah, and sure, we will be making content about console in March.
Yeah, we'll be talking about it in March at KubeCon EU. All right, thanks everybody for showing up. Appreciate it. We'll see you again in 2 weeks. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye now.